Smart24, driving business.
Since the last contractual letter that was released last week regarding the fact that Umeme's concession will not be renewed by 2025. And this comes at a time that the government is planning to name a multi-sectoral committee that will audit Umeme investments and assets. Multiple sources within the Ministry of Energy did reveal this as we headed into the weekend. Now, the committee sources say that this will be a committee that will be charged with determining the amount that the government will need to successfully execute the Umeme buyout, which is highly expected to take place in 2025. Solomon Muita, who is the Energy Minister, who is the Energy Ministry's communications manager, did confirm that the auditing process, noting a committee which shall comprise of technical persons from the Auditor General's Office, Finance and Energy Ministries, and the Electricity Regulatory Authority, is expected to be named by the Energy Minister, who is Ruth Nankabirwa. So Umeme last week on Thursday confirmed that the government had decided to see it off its full of the 20-year concession without the option of a renewal, and the concession does expire in 2 years' time, that is 2025. The announcement ended months of various speculations sparked by mixed pronouncements from the government officials about whether Umeme will continue operating in Uganda or not. Now, the sources also indicated that Umeme, which is the leading supplier of electricity, had been informed of the decision not to renew its contract to serve here in Uganda. So 2025 is highly the year that Umeme will not be continuing to be part of the energy sector here in Uganda. Umeme has invested close to $760 million in the electricity distribution system, of making sure that it has worked upon lighting up the entire country, which also includes the rural electrification process and a system whereby most of the other households within the rural areas have continuously been able to get electricity. Now, in its 2021 financial report, Umeme noted that in the event of a natural termination of a concession and subject to and in conjunction with the retransfer of the distribution system or its designee, the government would pay to the company immediately available funds that would definitely go in to buy out Umeme. And when you look at the buyout amount, it did increase by 105% of the cost of modifications and appreciated and unrecovered through tariff as one of the date of the retransfer. So that is according to the Umeme situation and the Umeme contingent from that report, as you can see probably. Now, speaking of that same situation, you get to realize that sometimes it is a time when most of the Ugandans have been having their own issues with Umeme, with the fact that they've been countrywide blackouts and all this and that. So that is from the space of Umeme giving you more details in regards to that. So government will be looking to audit the investments at the end of the day to ascertain who will be the possible buyer for this one. So that is it for our business update this morning, and swiftly moving on to the press review as well to look at what the papers are discussing from the world of business. And with the press review, the Democratic Republic of Congo is facing more sanctions and blame as the European Union goes for 8 people in terms of warmongers, while US criticizes neighboring countries over alleged continued support of M23 rebels. This is according to the East African. Now, the Juba NSS use business to check dissent. Report says spy agency is all in major sectors protecting commercial interests through repression and brutality. Then there is yet another transition deal in Khartoum. That is according to the East African. Now, also with the new vision, 41,000 schools face sanctions, as the ministry says only 31,754 registration deadline. Then also, President Museveni has tipped African Army officers on commercial farming. That is another report in here. Then Umeme exit, 2,100 jobs at stake will be, when you look at these ones, this will be over 2,140 jobs at stake when Eskom Uganda Limited and Umeme Limited concessions expire in March 2023 and March 2025 respectively. So where will these people be heading to with this particular one? This is a very huge one. Then also there is a payroll scam costing taxpayers billions according to the Daily Monitor, and the IGG rewards more of the people during the idea of fighting corruption within the country. That and more is with the Daily Monitor this morning. So that is it from the press review as we cross over to Ginger Road to see what is happening with our traffic update this morning, and briefly to take you through as you prepare to move out of your house and get out readily available before you hit the office. What route can you use? Which side looks very busy? Let's have this from our traffic update this morning. And as you can see, that is coming in from Ginger Road. Exactly there are the vehicles that are actually coming in from the ends of Chireka, ends of Nakawa, coming in from those sides of the Lugogo bypass heading to Kampala directly. Now for the lane that is actually heading to the side of Ginger, that is heading to Weogere, heading to Chireka areas and Nakawa, you can see it's yet to be too busy. Very few vehicles as of now. It's just 24 minutes past 7 o'clock. And the only busy lane as of now are the vehicles that are actually heading to Kampala. Those who are leaving Kampala this morning, very few. You can see vehicles are moving in freely, despite the fact that there are two lanes, but it's on the side of those that are heading to Kampala that is a bit busy. And as we continue to move on slowly, you can easily see also that the vehicles that are actually moving from the areas of Bugolobi and areas towards Motungo areas, Titintale, it's also still very low. There is low congestion coming in from there, less traffic jam has been highlighted from those ends. So it's not yet a busy side from the areas of Ginger Road, as you can see for yourself. It is only at the traffic lights where the police, the traffic police, as well as the traffic lights themselves, are trying to maintain the flow of traffic. But for those who are actually heading out of Kampala, using that same route of Ginger Road, is basically clearly showing you that the lanes are not too busy. The traffic jam is actually catching up at the traffic lights exactly there at Ginger Road, where you can ideally see that for those who are actually heading into town, especially those who are leaving areas of Ginger Road, those who are actually coming in from Ntinda, those who are coming in from Chireka, coming in from Boyogere, those who are coming in from Mokono and are heading to town are the ones who are actually creating now the traffic jam. That is what you can easily see. For the border riders, I would still tell you border riders maintaining the flow of the fact that they have to be wearing reflective jackets and they're supposed to be having helmets on is something that you cannot live without, and it's something that you can easily see is dominating the traffic flow in the country and within Kampala. For the other areas, it's not too busy for those who are actually getting the Wampewo lane heading to Kololo, and you can clearly see that the traffic flow there and the flow of vehicles and borders is moving on swiftly, yet to experience any sort of kind of traffic congestion at the end of it all. So the flow of traffic is actually moving on so well. And then also, as you can see, like I've been telling you, for those who are actually catching up and leaving home at this time and you're staying in areas of Chireka, Boyogere, staying in areas of Banda, those who are living Mokono, Seta areas, and you're moving into town, you can easily know that traffic on your lane has started to catch up. It is now heavy traffic from that side exactly, and that means also it is likely to affect people who are moving in from Bugolobi, people who are using this industrial area route, people who are living areas of Chibuli in Zambia. Those are people who actually are going to experience this traffic jam. And now you can see it is actually starting it from the other end of Ginger Road before the roundabout. It is already catching up, and you can see that if you are yet to leave home, it is the high time you left home and quickly switched on to Ginger Road to see how you can beat this traffic jam and get ready to work. It's a Monday, and you can see how busy the road is and how busy the routes are. But the traffic officers are always ready in time, as early as 6:30, to ensure that the traffic flow is definitely moving on well and not affecting any sort of or creating any disorganization for anyone who is actually leaving their home area, or those who are actually heading to their different workplaces, and as well to beat up the early jam that comes in from there. Our traffic update is coming in from Ginger Road. As you can see, images that are definitely coming in from the roundabout around Ginger Road, Daily Monitor area is there, and as you can get yourself that time around Wampeo Avenue. So it is still tight. Or if you look at the traffic flow, especially for those who are actually moving into town, those are some of the images that you can see for now, that it is a bit tight. It's a tight morning, so you should be ready to wake up and get it done. So if you're already at home and you're asking yourself which route you can use, well, it is it's highly expected that within 30 minutes traffic jam will actually be really tight, with the fact that now it is already catching up and picking up from different routes of Kampala. It is only for those who are still living in Kampala that are freely moving, because there is less congestion whatsoever. It's for only those who are actually heading into town for the early hours this morning. So that is it for our traffic update this morning, and with that we do head into a break. When I do return, we shall be looking at Karibu East Africa, looking at the stories making headlines across the East African Community region. Not only that, the SMB International News to check out what is making headlines away from the East African Community region and beyond the borders of Africa. Good morning.